Hello and welcome to, I think, episode 110, if I updated it correctly, of TNA Top 10. I'm your host, T Weave. With me, as always, is Andrew. How's it going, Andrew?
Terry, we survived the 4th of July here. We've survived our first tropical depression of the year. And my grass is extremely wet and growing very thick. And that's what he said.
God, you beat me to it.
That's the voice of Allison Faye, the almost birthday girl, 1 week away. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well.
1 week away before she celebrates her last birthday with a 4 in front of her.
Why don't you just shut your mouth? And oh my God, stop. That's for me to share. But yes, it is my 49th birthday. You're an ass, but I still love you.
Wow, early. Getting in early this week. A lot of fireworks on the show,
Look,
just like the one time to hear.
I had a really good weekend. I did nothing. It was fantastic. I can't believe I have to say this, but I needed to rest. I came home from vacation and my kid was very, I'll just say, wanted my attention. So it was a good week, but it was every morning at 6 or 6:30. Hey, can we go out to breakfast? No, normal people are still asleep now. And I had to keep reminding him that I had to work. So I'm trying to figure out something fun for us to do together. Maybe go rent a house with a pool or something for the week of my birthday.
He'll fit in with the Floridians when he retires.
Oh God. Absolutely.
At the diner at 6 o'clock. So
6 o'clock. You're late if you're having dinner starting at 6 o'clock, according to Lex. Yes.
No, I mean breakfast in the morning.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, just like we experienced in Florida when we showed up at 8, 9 o'clock, everybody was gone. Yeah.
So we have this team of retired drivers at work, and they meet at McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
For breakfast, and apparently sit there a couple of hours. It's the local retirement home. They haven't been moved to a home yet, so they just hold up at McDonald's for the $1 coffee and the bad breakfast. Unless you get the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. But yeah, Allison does not celebrate all month like Amy.
I do not. But Amy deserves it. So yeah, Amy deserves the whole month. So there. And hi to our friends. Bober is here, as is Devin. Hi.
Yes, Devin is here. I think I saw the Syracuse Orange with a major recruiting victory this weekend in football. So congratulations to you guys for now till they decide not to play there next year. But we'll get into that later. And, as part of the football, Terry, which we're not ready for. Not yet.
We may have to adjust. Tell you what, soccer's taking a lot more time, so we may have to discuss how we adjust that a little bit, but we're still going to have football.
Yeah, so we are less than 45 days away from football. 45 days.
Ready for it.
Nebraska, jumping the shark to the point, has put 62,000 tickets for Arrowhead for the opening week on a Friday in a different state altogether. They've got 62,000 tickets purchased.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Well, they put 90 in the stadium every Saturday.
Yeah.
But they don't have the option to only put Nebraska fans in Arrowhead Stadium.
So I'm having anxiety about thinking about being in that 90,000 group of people. No, thank you. Wow.
You were at the Georgia Dome, and how many were there? 75?
There weren't that many. Were there?
It was close. It would have been fairly close. Maybe
for the SEC.
I will say this though, the benefit of being where we were in Atlanta, we didn't have to worry about a lot of that. We walked a lot. I didn't have to worry about
would all of our listeners believe we were early to the football game?
If I was involved, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, we walked back, didn't we? Yeah.
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 Yeah, because it wasn't bad. The hotel was literally right there.
Yeah. It was like less than a mile away.
and the State Farm Arena, where the Saturday night's main event we're going to talk about, was right next door. 78,320 was the
Oh
attendance.
shit, that was a lot. Okay, but
Yeah.
everybody was really nice and sober. So
Well, they didn't serve alcohol.
That's no fun.
They didn't
well,
serve alcohol for the SEC championship game.
correct.
As Terry takes a shot.
I know.
It's going to be a good show, folks. Terry is
Oh, look,
loaded.
More friends. Hi, Alex.
Alex
more
Wheaton's
friends.
here.
Woohoo.
Welcome,
Lo-
Alex.
Loaded. Gotcha. Amy is extra. Well, duh.
I mean, have you
yeah.
met our girlfriend?
Exactly.
We love her, and
Did
she's
you
worth
guys-
every extra.
she wore a
Go ahead.
tiara.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's true.
and I wear a tiara when I go to Disney World every time because I'm a princess. Damn it! I think that's a shirt right there because I'm a princess.
Oh, did you
damn
guys?
it.
Did you guys do anything for the 4th? I mean, I didn't really. I mean, our next door neighbor goes crazy with the fireworks, so I don't even buy any, and we just kind of watch them
made
from here.
I made a pasta salad.
Pasta
But that was
salad.
for me.
That was one of the options on the list.
I know it was, and I made it, and it basically food prepped myself, but that's what I did on 4th of July.
And I will discuss the food that I was preparing
Oh yes.
while I was doing the list and realized it wasn't even on the list.
I was
That's
calming
coming
a
up later.
106-pound bulldog who hates
Oh.
fireworks.
Oh, I bet.
Oh.
He hates
Somebody
fireworks.
was saying a good idea is to get some stuff that makes noise and put it in your dryer and just like turn the heat
Yeah.
off or whatever. And I don't even know how to turn the heat off. I guess you hit a button
Just
or
put it
whatever.
on the cool, yeah.
Just tumble dry, just like the whole night or whatever, and let that noise be there. Maybe it comforts them so that it kind of drowns out the other stuff.
Yeah, he is not a fan of bang bang and boom boom. And if it wasn't gunfire, it was fireworks. So
You want to
Yeah.
know who else is not a fan of fireworks? Unless
Lex.
he's a fan of fireworks, Lex. Lex
Unless-
is,
Unless it's
and I say it that way because here is what I mean. If
I
there
get
are
it.
fireworks out of nowhere and he doesn't know they're coming, absolutely not. No, that is a big red flag. But if he
he
knows
wants
we're going,
control.
correct. If he knows we're going to go watch a firework display, absolutely, 100%. All for
It's
it.
like the difference with me between I love going on roller coasters, but I hate fair rides because I don't know what the hell's about to happen on a fair ride, but I can see where I'm going on the roller coaster.
well, the other thing is that it's a little different between like MGM or
This guy behind me
Universal.
putting it together, is that what you're saying?
yeah, before the meth heads come to town.
Some guy that
and
looks
put
like Joe Diffie is cranking the.
put
Oh,
your
God.
carnival together. I will not do carnival ride. Terry mentioned this. I absolutely will not ride a fair ride. I used to when I was a kid. I will
Same.
not ride. But then you become socially aware of the people that are running these places, and I will absolutely not get on a fair ride, and I will not get on a carnival ride.
Yeah.
I'm with
So
you.
my son is a huge ride freak, but he knows mom does not play when it comes to a fair. Absolutely not. You can buy all the junk food you want. You can play all the games that we know you're going to lose anyway. All you want. You are not getting on a damn rickety roller coaster at the fair. Six Flags, no problem. Disney,
Are you
no
all
problem.
old enough? Well, yeah, you're all old enough because you're older than me. But did you all ever get on Gravitron?
Oh my God, that was literally in my head. Absolutely, we had
Most
one at Adventureland.
ridiculous ride ever with the magnet putting you against the wall and the centrifugal force holding you there, and
And then your thing sliding up, your pad
Yeah.
that you're
Your
lying
what?
on, the pad that you're lying on.
Oh, okay. Look, I
I was
didn't
a
know what
kid
caused
when I
that part to
tried
happen.
Good.
But I mean,
Some-
I guess it's similar to things that we had at the Space and Rocket Center.
yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Look. Yep. There you go. Dave said it.
let's find a destination one too many times. Bitch, I don't get behind a truck hauling trees either.
Logging.
Just,
No.
yeah,
No logging.
no logging
trucks.
trucks for me. Thank you. It messed Tippy up for two. Yeah, that's what I'm
Poor
saying.
Tippy.
Like that centrifugal force. They found out that that's actually not good. Oh, look, a rundown. What an idiot.
The one at
Random
Oh, I'm gonna
baseball.
find the picture now. But the one at Space Camp actually is way better.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's the one.
My favorite.
That's the only one I've been.
Did you go
We
on
started-
the one that spun you
Yeah.
at the Space Center?
Oh, that I don't know, but we started this conversation with saying these are assembled by meth heads, so I hope
yeah.
the Space Camp one is better.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it stays
Absolutely.
in the same spot all the time, so that's that's the first green check.
The
mark.
green light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Green flag. Anyway, I'm gonna find my pictures of when I was on the Space Camp once and send them to you.
So I did get a surprise visit from my Coastie. My son came up for his birthday. Did not expect him to come up, so he's 19 now. Houston, for those that
Goodness.
don't know, came up from Pensacola, but then he stayed about a day and he drove back home. So he's going back. And I accidentally bought him a birthday present and sent it to my dad. So we'll see how that turns out.
Oh, and there's my dad chiming in from the
Hey,
yard.
George, well wishes to
Hi,
you,
George.
Man, he is hardcore
I know,
fan of
right?
the year.
Tell
hardcore.
me about it.
He come to hear me shit on the Mets, but that's in the basement.
No, he did not. Don't even start. Oh God. Oh Lord.
Because there's only one New York team, even if they're trash right now. But we'll get there.
Well, let's get
Oh.
into it.
I guess we're gonna get there now.
We
Let's
can
go
come
right
in
there.
If the producer's pissed about something, she can throw
Nope.
it in. and then
It'll come.
go.
It'll come naturally. Trust me. That's what she said.
That's
So
what she said.
the Braves and the Yankees have not had a very good week. Neither one of them.
The hell
um,
you said.
I don't
Well-
know what happened before today, but today the Yankees won, so that's all that matters.
I told
So-
Allison, Terry, being a Nebraska fan, hardcore for the last 10 years,
Yeah.
has prepared me to be a Yankees fan right now.
Well, speaking of Nebraska,
All the potential
Schwellenbach
in the
is
world.
on the
Schwellenbach?
60-day IL with a broken elbow.
No.
So
And
as
he's a
if the Braves
pitcher.
didn't have enough injuries, Chris Sale is on the
Oh.
injured list. Now Schwellenbach's on the injured list, and they're trying to negotiate a contract with Acuna, and they have not agreed to anything yet. And it's already July, so who knows what happens? Saw a rumor about Boston earlier, so
We don't need Acuna on the Boston Red Sox. I'm just saying.
No, we're good.
The Yankees can't beat Boston anyway, any more than they can beat Toronto or Baltimore or who the hell did they play? I just lost it. Oh, no, they beat the Rays, but that's because they're the Rays. Anywho,
although the Rays are 9-1 in the last 10 and took the lead.
But
Not the
wants
Rays.
to know how a
Wrong.
pitcher breaks his elbow.
Oh, that's right. Toronto.
throwing the ball, Bober. That's how
Jays,
he breaks
Rays,
the ball.
they rhyme at least.
Yeah. I don't know how he broke his elbow, but I'm going to assume throwing the ball.
See, I was gonna say he broke it because he had a bad game and then nailed a
Got mad.
locker or something.
No, that's some shit.
Or
the
like that
Yankees
guy
do in
who
the
fell
dugout.
through. Remember the guy who fell through the plate glass table? Oh,
No.
anyway,
A
I'll
baseball
find
player
it.
or a random
Yeah,
person?
baseball player. It was steroids. Yeah.
I remember Glenn Allen Hill got on the injured list for like tearing his ACL running from a spider or something like that.
Speaking of steroids, I came across on the Instagram Barry Bonds' 601st home run today out at Candlestick, and he did it off a broken bat, which was ridiculous. The fact that the thing flew far enough to make it out of the stadium off of a broken bat. So,
Yeah.
as good as they
It's probably
are,
a check swing broken bat, and he still got it.
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
into right field for the home run. Yeah.
So Terry,
as-
our stories were the same, by the way. Glenn Allen Hill fell through a glass table because he thought he saw a spider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know he fell through a table. I knew he
Yeah.
got injured because of
I
a
knew he
spider.
fell through a glass table, but I didn't know why.
Hilarious.
good Lord.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
random
What a
thing. I know, and that's kind of
What a
scary right there.
coincidence. Oh
Right?
man. But anyway, I mean, there's not much changing with who's leading other than, in the National League, it's still Phillies, Cubs, Dodgers. Braves are now 4th place, 13 and a half games out. It is time to decide who you're going to trade off and prepare for the future in Atlanta because it's
they got to
that
be
bad.
playing for next year because the injuries are just too insurmountable. Between
Yeah.
Chris Sale, Schwellenbach, you don't have any pitchers.
Yeah, I got fooled by a fake account making me think that Jurickson Profar got suspended again. He came back
That
and
was
he's
the
been
best
doing
story.
well, but it doesn't
No.
matter.
Don't worry,
Hey.
they're just predicting the future.
What did you miss on the post that would have made you
It
see
said MLB on facts.
So this is what it says on the Schwellenbach thing. Schwellenbach didn't appear to show signs of injury in his last start, in which he struck out 12 over 7 innings.
Oh, Lord.
Apparently felt the injury the day after the start. Won't throw for 4 weeks as he recovers. The team hopes he'll return by September. Right off
I
of
broke
MS.
an elbow one time playing disc golf.
I mean, we talked about it already, before the show. Clark Schmidt is going to have Tommy John surgery. He leaves the game with forearm tightness. This is the number 4 pitcher, number 3, depending on who you talk to, for the Yankees. He leaves the game with forearm tightness, and the next day, Aaron Boone announces he needs Tommy John surgery. How do we go from forearm tightness to Tommy John surgery, which is a minimum for most pitchers of a year before they ever throw a baseball again in a live game?
Kids, learn how to do Tommy John surgery because you'll make a shitload of money.
And as for pitchers, yesterday, Shohei Ohtani turned 31 years old, and he pitched 2 innings, which I don't understand Dave Roberts, but whatever. Shohei pitches out 2 innings. That's right. Starting pitcher, Terry, 2 innings. He's the designated hitter and the designated pitcher. So he starts.
We're getting to little league levels where they split it up. It's going to be 2-2-2,
Yeah.
2-1 or something at some point.
So he pitches 2. He gives up a hit in the first inning, gets him to put into a double play. The second inning goes 3 up, 3 down, and they pull him. I'm like, wait a minute. He just got 6 consecutive outs.
But that's enough. That's enough of that.
That's enough.
I'm going to put this back up here because I got stories too, Pondwater. You said you broke your thumb and didn't miss a game in goal playing soccer, and they soft. When I broke my elbow playing disc golf, it was my right elbow, my throwing elbow. I played 3 more holes. That's like I was throwing with the damn thing.
Crazy.
Rude.
And
Rude.
When I was 12, I broke my wrist, and I played center field with a left-handed glove, and I did the Jim Abbott thing, and I would batted right-handed and with one hand, and I bounced it over the fence one-handed.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm pretty sure the Braves could use
wasn't
you,
that great.
Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, at this point,
I should write a letter to them telling them all those accolades.
Lou Brown might be sending somebody who's bagging groceries in a week, but me and Allison are stopping at the local grocery stores, not for food, but for the pitcher, the next
bag
great
boys.
pitcher for the New York Yankees. We're looking for the bag boys because they can't catch a break, or maybe that's all they can catch is breaks. In the pitching with, Hill not going to be ready now until August, if not later. Rookie of the year.
Any
and
team
then,
healthy these days? I mean, is that just how it is in baseball? Because I feel like our teams are injured, but is every team just injured? I mean, is that what it is?
there's a lot of injuries. If you look at the Dodgers, who have the best record in the West, their bullpen is gutted. Like their starting rotation is gutted, which is one of the reasons they put Shohei in place. I don't know. The Tigers are fairly healthy, and it shows when they've got almost 60 wins this time of year.
200, Bober, 200.
200 feet, Bober. It won't Yankee Stadium, the shortest field.
Right.
Here's the thing about Yankee Stadium when we're talking about the distance, though, because I'm just going to tirade today. You've all been warned. Every other baseball team has the opportunity to hit a home run at a Yankee Stadium as well. It's not just the Yankees that hit home runs at a Yankee Stadium, or at least have the chance to. The last time I checked, there were 9 innings where the opposing team has an opportunity to hit the ball at a Yankee Stadium as well. So
And back
if I
when a
hear
bounce
John,
over was counted as a home run, that counted for both teams that way also.
if I hear John Smoltz say one more time that would only be a home run in 2 stadiums in the country, Steinbrenner in Tampa and Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, I'm gonna lose my shit.
The
'Cause he
only
acts like
time
it's
in
a big deal.
the only time in baseball history where it wasn't the same is back when they used to have a rope in the outfield and a home run went over the rope and the crowd would pull it back for the opposing team and push it forward for the home team. That's the only time it hasn't been the same. When we started
God.
building walls. Yeah, baseball's old.
Yeah.
A lot of history.
Well, and that's just like you say, that's just me being funny. What's not funny is how many runs the Yankees scored and lost 2 games to the Mets this weekend. That is awful.
Yes.
Awful. You score 6 runs in Major League Baseball with the team the Yankees have, and you think you win. They lost the game 12-6. Not even kidding. They lost the game 12-6 yesterday. They won today 6-4. And then I think they lost the other day 8-5 or something, or 8-6. A lot of offense in the Mets City Field in Queens. But I don't know what else they were doing.
How did the trader do?
How did what?
The trader do, Mr.
Oh,
I need more money.
Yesterday Soto went 3 for 3. Today he went 0 for 4. But today,
Okay.
All-Star Max Fried was pitching 10-2 officially with a 2.12 ERA and a .96 WHIP. So
Nice. You finally got that 10th win.
Who's that guy? Never heard of him.
yeah, never heard of him. Terry, thank you for
Terry.
Max Fried. One of 3 All-Stars for the Yankees this year. Aaron Judge, obviously, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Max Fried, Jazz Chisholm Jr. bringing in the rear.
And he's been on fire lately.
They need to move his ass back to second base and let Oswald play third. Not Carrera, but Peraza. They need to let Peraza play third base. And DJ LeMahieu needs to be DFA'd. And while we're DFAing people for the Yankees, can we get Boone fired too? I have started to buy into the fire Aaron Boone talk.
I mean, and hasn't been it's not new talk, Andrew. It's
Jazz's natural place
there.
is second. Jazz's natural place is second. You're going to put him in third and bring in DJ LeMahieu. Anthony Volpe has 11 fielding errors at shortstop, the most of anybody in the major leagues. And let's talk about the non-fielding error he had yesterday, and that would be hitting the man with the $30 million bat in the face with a baseball between innings. Volpe is on the trade block. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they need George Costanza to step in there and tell them,
maybe
what are you doing?
Maybe they have new uniforms.
He was successful at one point.
Maybe
I saw a video. Speaking of Costanza, I did not know this. This brings a lot of our stuff together. I saw a video where Seinfeld was on some talk show, and he was talking about the first few episodes of Seinfeld. NBC canceled a Saturday Night's Main Event to pay for the first 4 episodes of Seinfeld.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Kind of
Seinfeld called it. They had Saturday wrestling back then. That's what he said. But it was Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC. So they canceled one. And that was about the right amount of money to pay for 4 episodes of Seinfeld.
Worth it.
It ended up pretty good.
Yeah. I'm sure it made them a pretty penny, probably more than the wrestling did on Saturday nights.
Costanza's getting a bobblehead night too in Yankee Stadium.
He is. He's getting the sleeping under the desk bobblehead.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Under the desk bobblehead. That just does not sound right to me.
That's a Monica Lewinsky bobblehead. But anyway, listening to
it comes with a pillow. All right.
Listening to Michael Kay of the Yankees talk about the George Costanza bobblehead might be my favorite thing.
Oh my
God. Legitimately.
Look, I've got friends who collect these and have been to every bobblehead game that there is, and I've been to one, and I cannot tell you how horrible And you know me, I like to be early. Like, I think I was at the game 2 hours before it started, and I was like 1,000 people back in line. That's
First
how crazy these people are.
18,000 in attendance get the bobblehead.
They'll all be online before the game. Trust me.
Yeah. The first 18,000 get the bobblehead. And Yankee Stadium average attendance right now, 45,000. We'll go ahead and get into attendance later when we talk about AEW finally cracking 20 for All In. But the only other thing to note today, Terry, in the baseball is the Mets manager decided not to intentionally walk Aaron Judge. And he paid for it because it was the first pitch and belt high. And guess where that ball went? The hell out of Citi Field is where it went. And the Judge hit number 33 today, behind Cal Raleigh with 35, otherwise leading most offensive categories. And yeah, just continues to pour it on.
35, my God.
Yeah, Raleigh's got 35 home runs. Judge has 33.
I remember being blown away that Kevin Mitchell had 34 home runs at the break, and he hit like 15 more, I think. Something like that.
Well, we're close to that break.
Yeah. Judge is on pace for 61, and Raleigh's on pace for 65, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
And that's not even a big deal these days.
Isn't that crazy?
And Raleigh's a switch hitting catcher who has
Those are
already
always good. Veritek.
Love that. That's always, yes, agree. Always good.
Surpassed everybody to this point in the number of home runs at this time in the season. And he's a switch hitting catcher, which is going to be interesting when they play New York starting Tuesday.
What Seattle, right? This is the this is the dump truck guy?
This is dump truck, big dumper. Yep.
Hey, look, I'm a fan. What do you want?
Yeah.
I remember people the way I remember them, all right?
Well, speaking of asses, Wells hit one today too, just for
I know
Allison.
he did.
So,
I know he did. I was very happy.
How many days, Andrew? How many days? You probably
40.
already said it. 45?
44?
Okay.
43 days till college football. August 30th, right? Or 29th?
29th is the Friday that both Auburn and
Nebraska play. So 29 and 28, 47? 47 days?
Okay. I
Or
don't know.
42 days. Sorry, 42 days.
42. We'll go with that.
We'll get it right. Because Allison says you don't count today. So that means we got.
That's correct.
Well, that's right.
Today
24
already
days
happened.
Plus 29 days.
Because the game will be
43
happening
days.
at this time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got 43 days.
Maybe this morning you counted it, but not right now.
But the bottom line is, Terry, football's coming back. And before we know it, we're going to have summer training and summer camp. Although there is trouble in Auburn, so I hear.
Well, yeah, so they're dropping like a lead balloon
Oh no.
in the recruiting rankings, like down at number 85 or something. Now, they were number 6, I think, in the transfer rankings. So they brought in some decent players. So that's a big deal. And I have to wonder, Hugh Freeze has prostate cancer. And this was announced in February. And I have to be honest, it's probably a valid point to wonder if this guy's going to be around. I'm not saying he's going to die, but somebody that's got prostate cancer, are you sure that he's going to be there for an extended amount of time? If he's sitting in somebody's home trying to recruit them, how can he possibly say, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be your coach? You can't know that. Are other teams using that against him? I would think so. And should they not be doing it? I don't know. I mean, it's a valid point.
And let's face it, Terry, look at who the competition for recruiting is in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
Murderers freaking row.
Yeah, and Saban's doing a lot of recruiting in Tuscaloosa these days.
You know that they've got 5 5-star commitments for 2026, and nobody's talking about it because it's Alabama.
Well, because I mean, and every one of them has a picture that got posted on social media hugging Nick Saban. So, you know,
Terry is a bitter Auburn fan. War Eagle
Man.
for 4-8 this year.
Well, with the new rules, there's rumors that Saban may come back, and it would not be Tuscaloosa. So who knows? I say go to the Big Ten. Leave the SEC alone.
Yeah, I don't think Saban's going anywhere. He's enjoying retirement too much. He likes to be on McAfee's show. He likes to be the expert on ESPN. With Lee Corso leaving the first game day, Saban will have much more of a role as the elder statesman.
And Miss Terry would have to agree to something.
Correct. And here's the other thing. His legacy is etched in Tuscaloosa. So why mess with it at this point? Urban Meyer made that mistake when he went to Jacksonville after his stints in Florida and Ohio State. So don't tamper with the legacy. Speaking of legacy, Nebraska is looking to turn it around this year. Unlike Auburn, who has drawn back the purse strings, apparently here in Lincoln, we're opening the checkbook up and paying everybody. 4-star recruit Nayland Scott, wide receiver from Georgia. Danny Odom, 4-star cornerback. Leon Noel Jr., 3-star offensive tackle that weighs 385 pounds. And I sent Terry and Allison a picture. They can confirm that is a big man playing tackle. Jamal Rule, running back from North Carolina. Kyle Kinnaman, a transfer kicker from Charlotte and Cal. Point being, they're hitting the recruiting trail. All of a sudden, they're in the top 30 recruiting class in 2026. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to echo what Terry just said. Doesn't matter. Between the transfer portal, National Signing Day, National Transfer Day, National Decommitment Day, does it really matter that you have a top-rated class for a year from now in college football when we hadn't played one snap of the 2025 season? My answer would be it makes no difference whatsoever right now that we have a highly touted class. The only thing it does is it gives you the cachet if you're the Ohio States, the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texas, the teams on top right now, to say that we continually recruit at the highest of high levels.
And also, one thing that Auburn has also said, and I don't know where this lands, but the House settlement sets a $20.5 million cap on salaries for all sports for a university. Auburn is claiming that other universities are going over that, and they have decided not to. This is so new. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know if other teams are going over that. What does that mean? What ends up happening? I got no clue.
Does that mean they're hiring more people or just paying people more? Or
for players? It's for the players themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For all sports.
Well, and that's the thing. They've been paying players for years. Let's be honest.
Oh, and that ain't equal either.
Well, that's what they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it where the institutions are equal, but I mean, there's some schools that can't.
Oh no, I'm talking about
men and women.
Men and women. Yeah, there's
no
sports, way that's going to be.
Oh, that's like we've talked
like
about
men and women's soccer. We've talked about this. Yeah.
I was standing in Jordan-Hare with 88,000 people, and they're announcing, "Come to the soccer game for free." That's just kind of how that is.
Which is weird for me because as a Nebraska fan, they have the nationally recognized volleyball program that is insane. But
some schools
that's the only one sport that matters in Nebraska. Now, Nebraska fans show up, don't get me wrong, but as far as money making, it's the only one generating any revenue for the University of Nebraska is women's volleyball. As good as the softball team had a run this year in the Women's World Series, as good as their soccer team was, or the bowling team, or what, nobody goes to watch those games. They go to watch volleyball and they go to watch football. The other thing interesting on, I just lost my train of thought. Never mind. It might come back to me.
Bring it up.
I was going to be on college football. Thomas Castellanos has started some shit down there at Florida State, Terry, and he got AJ McCarron fired up talking about how, because Castellanos says that Florida State's going to dog walk Alabama. Well, first of all, I'll believe that when I see it, even with Kalen DeBoer as the head coach of the Crimson Tide. But of course, AJ McCarron is a national champion winning quarterback from Alabama, is going to stick up for his alma mater. He didn't lose a whole lot of games in Tuscaloosa, did he there, Terry? Mr.
No,
McCarron.
not at all. I mean, is this so? This is just to catch up. Castellanos, I guess he was at Boston College and transferred to Florida State. Is that what
Transferred him, and Bill O'Brien had some sort of falling out, and O'Brien benched him.
Ooh.
Did they beat Florida State last year and then he transferred to Florida State?
Yeah, Boston College beat Florida State to set the tone for the year.
Interesting. That's like when Auburn fired fired Terry Bowden, fired Terry Bowden and hired the only SEC coach that he beat the previous year in Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah. It's insanity. Like I said, I forgot what I was going to say about the college football, but with the recruiting, back to that recruiting. This is a point for both yours and my teams. Year 3 of the head coach. It's time to win. You want to know what the biggest recruiting tool is? Winning. Winning football games goes farther than anything else.
It does. It does.
Absolutely agree.
And it's crazy that Hugh Freeze was able to recruit as well as he did without going to a bowl last year, but that ended this year.
Inside of a stacked SEC, like a stacked SEC. He's competing against Kalen DeBoer, Stark out of Texas, Smart out of Georgia, Heifel out of Tennessee.
What's his real names? What are these?
Yeah, these are the head coaches. What's his face out of Florida? I thought was going to get fired. Who ended up with another top 5 recruiting class. And then the South Carolina team under the kid, Beamer's kid, Shane Beamer. So, I mean, these are some stout teams that Auburn is competing against. And
Auburn, supposedly, it's been years since Auburn had a first-round NFL pick, and there are 3 players on Auburn this year that possibly have been talked about as first-round picks.
The last first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken, for Nebraska was 2009. His name was Ndamukong Suh. He did pretty good in the NFL last time I checked.
Man, nobody since then, huh?
No, wow. He was. I don't know. I think there may have been Cam Taylor-Britt, I think, went in the second round. He's the Cincinnati defender that's really good. And the linebacker for Devontae David for Tampa Bay may have gone in the first round, but I don't think so. As far as I remember, Sue was the last one.
So for Auburn, it was 2020. Derek Brown got selected by the Panthers. Noah Igbenogany. Oh man, I didn't know I was going to have to say that name. Number 30 picked by the Dolphins. Woof, it's a tough one. But anyway, we've got plenty of wrestling to talk about, so why don't we get into it?
All right.
So, WWE has a lot of things that they're doing to celebrate Allison's birthday.
There you go. That's right.
Saturday night, they got Saturday night's main event.
Correction, it was Prince Amukamara in 2011. But that's still 14 seasons ago. And he played for Bo. But there's a lot going on with the women, including Trishy time and Tiffy time.
Right. And we got the Great American Bash, which I still cringe that this is an NXT product now because it was such a big deal in the past. But, you know, it's not my Meemaws wrestling anymore. And then our second helping of Evolution.
Yeah, Tully Blanchard is not wrestling Dusty inside of a cage in a ladder match for $10,000 on the line.
I got to be honest. You guys know that I don't watch wrestling all the time anymore.
Right.
But I looked at the cards, and there is a NXT title match, and I don't know who either one of the guys are. straight up. I'm just letting you know.
Obafemi?
Maybe. I don't know.
I know like 2 people on NXT right now, and it's the former Ricky Starks and Ethan Page.
Yeah, so Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, and
Sure.
to be completely transparent with our audience, because we're very honest people around here, I've not watched NXT regularly since Vince and Bruce screwed it up and ended the black and gold era of
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
2009.
got all
Same.
colorful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
funny
It was-
thing is, Raw is pretty much looks like NXT these days.
But NXT was the best program WWE had
was.
pre-COVID.
You
Was
know,
the
I started
best.
watching wrestling for the first time in 20 years in 2019, and I watched NXT, and it was that black and gold. And a couple of guys stood out to me. Keith Lee was one of them because that big dude could move, you know. And then
Yep.
I can't remember the other guy's name, but it was
Mine
really
was-
good back then.
I was watching with when I went to the takeover in Brooklyn. I can't remember if it was I think it was 2017 or 2018, and it was Adam Cole, it was Aleister Black, it was trying to think who else I saw. I want to say I saw Finn Balor, and I saw Asuka's debut. Like, it was pretty good, or maybe not her debut, but maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, it was like you were saying, black and gold. It was the time to watch it.
NXT champion Kevin Owens defeats John Cena in an open United States Championship challenge. You don't
Ooh.
get that anymore.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So, and beat him with the pop-up power bomb and beat him clean in the middle of the ring. So, anyway, to your point, Terry, a lot
Yep.
going on to, quote, counter-program the AEW. I'm sorry to all of our AEW friends and listeners. I don't know that Paul Triple H Levesque or Shawn Michaels give a shit about AEW.
The answer would be no.
This is their thing, you know, with Saturday Night's Main Event, NXT, and Evolution. But let's get into it, Terry. You said you've got one for each. Well, you picked.
Nope. I've got 4.
Smack.
I got 4 for WWE and 4
for the AEW.
for AEW. Sorry.
All right, let's talk about it.
I got a weird thing happening with my computer here and there for a second.
Okay.
My mouse
So,
working.
so what do you want to talk about, Allison?
First match, Saturday night's main event,
Missed it.
World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Goldberg.
So the what do you want to talk about was a Cody Rhodes reference, and you absolutely bombed on that, ma'am. But you can go ahead and tell us how
I'm
you
gonna
feel
go fix
about
my back.
Goldberg and former Walter.
Sorry, my headphones cut out, so you were talking about me. My bad. How do I feel about Oldberg?
Goldberg and the man
Um,
formerly known as Walter.
Okay, look. Is this like? Did I miss the part where WWE is like the old folks' home? And I say that being an old folk, this match should never be allowed to happen.
Fun
And
fact.
I'm gonna hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna also copy it. The Trish Stratus versus Tiffy match. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay, that's my opinion. Go ahead.
July the 6th, 1998, Goldberg beat Hogan in the Georgia Dome for the world title. Today is the anniversary of Hogan losing to Goldberg, but he still had to have the Gaga because Karl Malone came out and Kurt Hennig and the rest. Obviously, this is in Atlanta. It's going to be State Farm Arena. Terry's computer just did something funny. He might have to restart it. So anyway, we're going to keep talking,
Yep,
but
we'll just keep talking.
Terry's computer, folks, may have just crashed on him. So anyway, Allison and I are going to talk about this event for a second. So Goldberg wins against Hogan in the Georgia Dome. Yeah, he's definitely gone.
I did that. I moved this.
Oh, you moved us. Okay.
Yeah.
But so the Georgia Dome anniversary, obviously, Georgia's his town, blah, blah, blah. The Goldberg match with Undertaker 3 or 4 or 5 years ago in Saudi was so god awful. What do they think that Gunther is going to be able to do to get a match out
That's
of
just
him?
it.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand what the logic is here, other than they said that Goldberg's going to have a retirement match.
That's it.
Cena
That's
got-
literally it.
Cena got a retirement tour,
Cena got a whole damn year.
and
And he
hopefully he
has-
loses the title too. But go ahead.
But he has also said he is not stopping wrestling until the middle of December. Cena. So
Yeah, I don't
he
like
will
that.
be.
I
I don't like that either.
think they've ruined it. But anyway, that's not on the agenda today. The Goldberg thing, if he
Correct.
beats Gunther, like the world title on Raw is already a less than title. But if you're going to put this on Goldberg just for him to beat Gunther one night only, whatever, absolute garbage. I don't know that you don't see Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and the rest try to get involved. But I don't, like I said, I don't know. I think,
Honestly, that's probably the only way they're going to save that match.
yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see Gaga Galore because not to be confused
I
with,
agree.
not to be confused with Zsa Zsa Gabor, but I think you're going to see Gaga Galore. She was involved in a drive-by slapping, by the way, back in the 90s, for those of you who may or may not remember. Oh, Zsa Zsa hitting the,
Yeah.
what was the National Enquirer cover? She had a
Oh,
front
God.
cover of the National Enquirer. But
Fantastic.
the deal with Goldberg, though, genuinely, is can he possibly put an outing in that is even acceptable in professional wrestling?
No, I mean, all I could say, I'm going to say this. I am hoping that Gunther is good enough to carry him. And I unfortunately can't say that I believe that's true. Because to your point, lesser product. We're not, Gunther, they've been not really pushing him at all. I don't feel like. I don't know. It's
Well,
a why for me.
And Gunther is a completely different sort of wrestler than Goldberg. Goldberg would come out, he'd bang his head on the locker, he'd snort, he'd spit, he'd blow smoke, he'd do his phantom kicks, and then, it was spear, jackhammer, ball game. That was a Goldberg match. Terry, we were just mentioning how this happens to be the anniversary of when Goldberg beat Hogan in Atlanta, and we were discussing whether or not we think that Gunther can pull a match out of Goldberg. But my point is, this is stylistically so different. I mean, unless Goldberg's going to sell Gunther kicking him, trying to get up and he kicks him, try to get up and he kicks him, try to get up and or trying to sell the
puts him to sleep.
sleeper.
Yeah, or he's going to do that again, and we're all just going to be pissed off.
Yeah, and I don't know that actually works or doesn't work. But Goldberg, in my opinion, has no business in the match. But this is his kind of swan song or whatever. And I just hope Gunther puts him down and puts him out.
Yep.
And they call it a day.
Well, I mean, with it being in Atlanta, hopefully this is him telling us goodbye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me give you the progression of what just happened. So my computer told me your mouse is not working. So I went around to fix my mouse, and then it goes, "Oh, your internet's not working now." So then I came back on, and then when I came on, it goes, "Oh, your mouse is not working." And I'm like, "Son of a bitch, you're not doing this to me again." Anyway, I'm glad I'm back.
Good time.
Terry's back. So that's Terry. He's very frustrated right now.
Yep. All right, let's move next match.
Next match. And I don't have a great picture for this.
Good, but it's another one.
Intercontinental Championship match. Bayley, Becky, Lyra at Evolution.
I have a friend that calls Lyra Valkyria C-SPAN because he says C-SPAN is far more interesting than she is.
Oh, God. I don't think they realize that Lyra just doesn't have it. And they're trying think Mean Girls, and I can't remember which one said it, but she goes, "Stop trying to make Fetch a thing. Stop trying to make Lyra a thing.
So who
it's
should
not
be here?
gonna happen."
Stephanie Vakir.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% would rather see her. There's no story there, but would I
Right.
rather see her there? 100% yes.
And the other thing is, because we're all
Even-
wrestling fans and we've seen this show before, this is a storytelling device to get to SummerSlam, Becky versus
Right.
Bailey.
Right. I mean, and to be fair, I think we could even, I mean, I don't know. I know I say this all the time. This is a Becky and Bailey. It's a proven win. But how many times are we going to see it?
So well, let me ask this. Okay, so this is a big deal, though. We're back to Evolution for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Evolution the first time was a huge deal because it was an all women's pay-per-view, and we're doing it again. Surely they're not just using it as a stepping stone to storylines across the board, though.
I would say for this match, it is that the Lyra is involved only to be involved so that we can get to Becky and Bailey at SummerSlam
Okay.
over the Intercontinental Women's title, which is beneath both of them as well.
Absolutely agree.
Right.
That's the part. So right there, you nailed it, Andrew. That's the part where I'm like, why? Put this
Right.
on somebody young, rising, and no offense, Lyra, but that ain't you. I mean,
Yeah,
Julia. What about Julia? You know,
So to your, well,
she's
she's the U.S. champion. She beat what's her
yeah,
name?
there you go.
But to your point,
Two belts.
put
Julia.
Stephanie in the match versus Lyra, and let's
Yeah.
call it a day.
Absolutely. We, you know,
Other than they want a legend in these matches or a veteran with the younger talent.
Bring
And I
back
get
Nikki
that.
Cross out of nowhere and let her win.
oh God, I'd be so excited to see her again.
Yeah, she was outside with that weird ass 8-man
Yeah.
tag that was on SmackDown.
She's
Terry,
in the
they
Wyatt
pulled
We've got a battle royal in this pay-per-view that I didn't mention here, but to see who the number one contender is or something, I don't know.
They're pulling AEW cards left and right at WWE. They did an 8-man tag yesterday where there was one man from each tag team, against the Wyatt Six. So you had one guy from Street Profits, you had Gargano, you had Terry's messing it all around.
Yeah.
You had Gargano, you had who else?
Andrade.
Allison, and
You had Andrade.
yeah, not Andrade, but Phantasmo, and you had Nick Saban, or not Nick Saban, Chris Saban
Nick
from
Saban. That's what he's doing
yeah.
after football.
wrong guy. You wrong Saban. You had Chris Saban from Motor City
Chris
Machine
Saban.
Guns, and
And
they're
Alex
all
Shelley,
against. They're all against the Wyatt Six, and I'm like, what in the hell? This is straight out of WCW, like 90, 92, 93 WCW trash right here.
Good stuff.
Although some of the wrestling in that era was pretty good. So let's go 95 WCW. That was awful.
All right. What's the other match you picked for WWE? Oh, good.
Oh my goodness.
So you missed this, Terry, but this is another match where I'm like, unless they book this match so we can look at two sets of really nice bazungas, why? Trish should just not be in these kinds of matches. This makes me mad.
Right.
Why are you taking a good spot away from somebody who could benefit from the exposure?
This is kind of a Goldberg kind of deal.
That's exactly what I said the first time. Yeah.
The thing that makes this interesting is that Naomi's lurking with intent with that briefcase somewhere. And do they pull the trigger with Naomi taking it away from Tiffy, or do they wait till Jade wins it and take it from Jade? Because a Jade pop at SummerSlam winning the title from Naomi, who stole it from Tiffany, could give you as many options as Naomi stealing it from Jade after she beats Tiffy, because there's no way I see Trish Stratus leaving with this title in Atlanta.
No, nobody does. That's why this is a waste.
No chance. It is a waste of time.
Yeah. And the prettiest moonsault ever. So,
it is.
I mean, it's a good moonsault.
it is. Yeah.
But these two are both one stitch away from a wardrobe malfunction. And they're blonde and they're tanned. And basically, Tiffy is Trish 25 years ago.
Correct.
Very athletic, blonde, who's very green, but in her career has enjoyed success very early because of how she looks and the sex appeal she brings to the ring. Because when she says WWE runs on Tiffy time, it makes me about as nauseated as when Naomi says, proceed with caution, while she's wearing a caution tape outfit. Please stop the nonsense.
That is where we disagree, because I actually think that's great. And kudos to both of these ladies. Both of their outfits.
Or the Tiffy time.
Both of them. They're great taglines. I think they're pretty good. Also, if I looked like either one of these women, I'd be having a wardrobe malfunction left and right. God. Did you guys see Tiffy on Friday night? Her shirt was literally at the nipple line. Okay, anyway.
So notes, if I go to SmackDown this Friday.
Awesome. All right. So
I mean, the final match for Evolution that we're going to talk about, and this is a rematch of a rematch of a rematch. Io
but
Sky
I still watch this one. This will be
Rhea.
good.
Is this when it happens?
Put the title on Rhea Ripley, because you're not going to do anything with Io.
I think this is the place to do it. I mean, that's a huge story for Evolution. This is what I want. I want something to come from this pay-per-view that is a big deal, so that it's not just because it should not be a stepping stone. You don't need to do Evolution again and just have it be a stepping stone. I think this is the match where Rhea wins this title.
Well, my thing is, you've done nothing with Io. Bianca's been hurt, which hasn't helped the cause. But you've done nothing with Io. It's very clear that you think Rhea Ripley is one of the cornerstones of the company, and I don't. That's not disputed. I don't think you can dispute that fact. And I've made the comparison to Toni Storm and Rhea in the role that they play for their respective companies. They are very much figured in to the marketing, to the planning, to the pay-per-views, to the selling tickets, to the merchandise, etc. You've done nothing with Io. But Evolution is kind of fun, because if you ever saw Rhea in NXT and what she looked like versus what she looks like now, you saw this green beginning wrestler to now she's mommy. She runs the whole division. Io being a Japanese wrestler, bringing that style into this particular ring because Triple H loves Japanese women wrestlers. That's fine. But if you're not going to do anything with Io, just pull the trigger and put the title back on Rhea, and let's hit Control-Alt-Delete.
Could not agree more.
Because they should have never put the title on Io in the first place, based on the way they booked her since that Netflix Raw.
This may have been what they were building up to. This may have been the plan the whole time. I hope it was, and I hope it really comes through. Let's move to AEW, and we've got All In Saturday, June 12th in Texas.
July 12th.
Good Lord, I'm getting dates wrong all over the place.
It's all good. It's all good.
Lord.
Yeah, so this should be interesting. It's going to be hot as balls.
Yeah.
In Texas. You guys thought Vegas was hot? Texas has humidity and heat. Yeah. Exactly. Gross. No, thank you.
And StarCast this year.
Yes, they do. That's right. I will not be in attendance. All right. Next,
we will be in Charlotte. First match, we've got World Tag Team Championships, a 3-way match: the Patriarchy versus the Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed.
Where have they been? Where has Christian been? Have I not seen him? And is he on Collision only or something?
I think they made this on Collision. I'm being genuine. I think they made this on Collision. This match.
Okay.
They added him to it on Collision.
Because y'all know I'm a Speedball Mike Bailey fan, but this makes no sense. None of this. Am I missing where this makes sense?
Multi-team matches in AEW rarely make sense, storyline-wise.
Well, and here's my issue with the whole thing, genuinely speaking. I mean, you got the Hurt Syndicate. They're pretty much badasses. Of course, MJF's in the middle of that somewhere. And then you've got the tension between Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. And by the way, Nick Wayne has the #1 most punchable face in all of professional wrestling. I think Daniel Garcia is a close second.
I was going to say, I'm shocked you didn't think it was Daniel Garcia.
He lost yesterday to Kyle Fletcher, as he should. But I want to know who Kyle Fletcher pissed off to end up on Collision against Adam Cole. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, you have no viable team to beat the Hurt Syndicate for these titles, believably. So the only way you do it is you have a fuck finish where they're not in the ring and one of these other two pins them to take the titles. But I still think they walk out of Texas with the titles. What I'm saying is it's the only – nobody thinks that Speedball and his face, his tag team partner, thinks
Kevin,
that they're gonna beat Shelton and Bobby.
No.
Any more than anyone thinks Christian and Nick Wade are gonna beat Shelton and Bobby, although that possibility is a little bit better because Christian Cage is a 50-whatever-year-old veteran. But there you go again. You've got three really young guys in this match, and Kevin Knight, that's who I was trying to think of. Speedball Mike Bailey, who's not terribly young, and Nick Wayne. And then you have the AARP committee in Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley and Christian, because they're all flirting, if not over 50.
Why are they not putting who's Ospreay and Swerve going against? Are they going against somebody in
Bucks?
Okay, because I was going to say, I'm like, why are we not pushing to put belts on them? Why is that not happening?
It's not a tag team. It's a bullshit storyline.
But they're so good as a tag team. Like, they are so much fun to watch. But then again, if I keep thinking about it, once they plow through these two, I don't think they'd have anybody else to contend with, really.
They are not.
All right, next match, because this one's done.
We got
hell yeah! Oh god!
Multiple championships, Okada and Omega. We've talked a lot about it. We've talked about how Omega isn't Omega in AEW like he is elsewhere.
Correct.
What do we expect? What do we really expect from Okada versus Omega at All In?
I think we see a lot of New Japan people coming in. If you ask me, that's what I would expect to see. But I would also expect them to try to recreate the magic that they had in Japan. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. But
they are 8 years removed from that 2 out of 3 falls match. And that match is money. The selling, the storyline, Omega finally taking down the Rainmaker with the one-winged angel to get the 3rd fall. I think the proclivity and the propensity for bullshit in AEW is going to ruin this match.
Yes, I agree.
Tony Khan is going to overbook this. And this is my prediction. He's going to overbook it and he's going to ruin it. Because you're probably going to see Gabe Kidd. Okada's a member of the Don Callis family now instead of the Elite, so you're going to see some garbage there. You may see Ibushi come in and make a run in as part of the Golden Lovers. This match alone, the rivalry, the history, the titles, that was enough to put this together and have a match. Tony Khan is not disciplined enough to do that. We're going to get garbage, which is why you haven't seen Okada hit that gear that he had in Japan. And you certainly, in the United States, have not seen Kenny Omega be the god of pro wrestling. Now, you want to see him be the god of pro wrestling? Check out Wrestle Kingdom, because that's where he does it. He doesn't do it in the company that writes him a check. And recently came out on an interview and said that he's about done conquering the world because he has nothing left to prove. And he doesn't know how many matches he's got left in him.
So
if that's the case, I hope we get a really good match, and I hope Tony puts the handcuffs on himself to not fuck it up at the end. But I don't trust him to do so.
What are the chances Okada wins multiple titles here? Is this leaning heavily Omega?
You know, I could not tell you. I could not even begin to guess which one will win because of what Andrew said.
They have not made Okada a threat to Kenny Omega, though. They have made him a B player at best to Kenny Omega in AEW. They haven't put him on the same level. They haven't created this aura, as the kids would say, that this is a must-see match. Now, for those of us that have seen this match and seen it in its purest form in New Japan Pro Wrestling at the Wrestle Kingdom events in the Tokyo Dome, this is huge. But the problem is those matches are going to supersede whatever AEW comes up with, and it's going to be a disaster. They're not going to live up to the previous 4 matches they've had.
Yeah.
And I think the booking is going to hurt it. But if you ask me to pick a winner, Terry, since we won't record until next week, I'm in on Omega.
I would think so. I don't see them lifting Okada up to the level they've lifted Omega.
There's no need to. There's no need to. Anybody who's not a New Japan fan has no idea who Okada is, you know? If you didn't follow his story, there's no reason to put anything behind Okada.
Which is really sad because if you know New Japan Wrestling, he is in the name grouping category of Masahiro Chono, the Great Muta, Tanahashi, Ricky Dozan, even Giant Baba, Antonio Inoki. He is in the lore of those Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah.
And he comes to AEW and he becomes a $4.5 million job guy.
Yep.
Embarrassing. And Tony Khan ought to be ashamed of himself.
Moving on to the next match. Tony Storm against Mercedes Moné.
Again.
The women's championship. Yeah, again.
I mean, but to be fair, the last match they had was pretty good. So maybe they're getting their stride. Maybe this is going to be awesome.
Is this going to be it, though? Or are they setting up for something else?
Who knows?
I think Tony Khan is a damn fool, and he's going to put that title on Mercedes Moné, despite the fact Tony Storm is a far better representative of AEW and alternative wrestling.
Do you think that happens here?
100%.
Okay.
So there's one person who I haven't seen been used a lot recently, and that's Jamie Hayter. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the perfect place to bring her in as a ally of Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, they had her in the Owen, and she lost. And
right. But other than that, have we really? I mean, she's been in no storylines or anything. So that's why I'm saying it may be a great time to bring her back in. She's got that whole Daphne from Scooby-Doo look going on. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like Mercedes Moné. I don't think Mercedes Moné is worth putting this title on. I think it's a mistake, but I think that she's got creative control and they paid a ton of money for her. And Tony Khan can barely contain his erection whenever she's around. And so we're gonna go ahead and put the world title on somebody completely undeserving, who is a piss poor character and a worse interview and is only mediocre in the ring unless the other person can equal her ability. Because at their last All-In event, which was in Wembley, she wrestled Britt Baker, and that was a dumpster fire.
Yes, agreed. Speaking of, is she gone?
Yeah, she's requesting her release from AEW.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
Let's move on to the match here.
Just to annoy him.
This is it.
Moxley versus Hangman. I mean, does Tony Khan let Jon Moxley walk out of this match as the champion?
Yes, because he wants Darby Allin to take it off of Jon Moxley.
Stop it right now. That's ridiculous.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
But that's what he's going to do.
Oh, my goodness.
I cannot take any more of this, and I'm just going to call it what it is. Bullshit. I'm done. I was so excited last week, and I know this sounds really funny, but no, Amy, there's no FTR on this card. But like the fact that
save your money.
Hangman beat beat Marina with the briefcase. I was so excited. I'm like, finally, something good is happening. You know, we got some intergender stuff finally happening. And I'm like, take the briefcase with you when you walk out. And he did it. And I'm like, what is happening? It's just, I want to say it, but I don't want to say it, but I know it's true. Tony Khan just can't let us have what we want. And it drives me nuts.
And the thing is, this is a very simple, basic redemption story of Hangman becoming the face of the company after Swerve, the Swerve thing, burning the house down, and the cage match, and the syringe. And this is a way back. But Tony Khan is not going to do it, and I think you're going to see Darby win the whatever they call it, the reverse battle royal thing that they do.
Oh,
the casino gauntlet match. I think Darby wins the casino gauntlet match. He becomes the number one contender. And if you want the feel-good moment in Texas, Darby is going to beat a beaten down Jon Moxley for that title. Unless they want to wait till All Out in Canada to do it. But either way, there'll be a lot of deathmatch bullshit involved with Darby Allin and Jon Moxley wrestling each other. To me, the most logical thing to do is put the title on Hangman and move on. Kill the Death Riders. That story sucks. The story's gone on too long. You haven't got the nuances to keep it going. You can compare it, you AEW fucking marks, to the Bloodline all you want, but the Bloodline was WWE professional wrestling. And that mark and that storyline will never be toppled that they did in, post Vince McMahon, Steve Austin. Give me a better storyline. And you can't. And I won't wait. So this bullshit, this nonsense needs to end. And if Jack Kevorkian was around, I'd ask him to commit euthanasia on the Death Rider storyline. But he's not. So anyway, absolute garbage. But I see Hangman not winning and Moxley retaining, with the possible Darby taking it at the end of the show.
I can see your point. It's one of those where if I picked, I would probably pick what I want to happen and be wrong. I'd like Hangman to win this. I can see Moxley winning it and it working out like you said.
Well, here's the other thing.
Unfortunately.
Because it wasn't good enough to just be a title match. Moxley's involved, so now it's a Texas death match.
That's right. And they're in Texas, so it's got to have that name.
They've had a Texas death match before. And if I'm not mistaken, Hangman won said Texas death match against Moxley. It's one of Moxley's very few losses in AEW. I could be wrong about that. We could have that reversed. But you've already had a Texas death match with Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page.
Well, there's definitely going to be blood.
Oh, this is going to be. Lex ain't going to want to watch it.
No.
The good news is it'll
you
be
already
on
see it behind them. Both of them in this picture. There's blood just all over the place.
Yeah.
You can already see it.
Yeah, there's no question. This is not a match that I will watch with him.
Okay, so after this pay-per-view, we've got August 24th is Forbidden Door.
In England.
September 20th is All Out. But before that, we need to talk about July 4th and what we like to eat on July 4th, because this week we're talking about the top 10 4th of July foods.
Nice. I like to eat.
I like to eat too. And I'll go ahead and get it out of the way. I don't have a Blame Terry slide this week, but I will give you my story that I told them before we came on. Bring on the beer, Amy says. So I was sitting there the morning of July 4th. I got up early and I thought, I'm going to make some chili. Guess what was not on the list? Chili was not on the list of options to this. Okay,
before we jump into the 4th of July, because I had to have Google help me, Terry. At AEW Revolution 2023, Hangman Adam Page defeated Jon Moxley in a Texas death match. The match concluded with Page choking Moxley out with the chain wrapped around his neck, forcing him to tap out during the 10 count. Victory marked Hangman Adam Page's first win in a Texas death match and his first victory against Jon Moxley in their rivalry.
Wow.
So my point was, Hangman ain't going 2-0 against Mox in Texas death matches, because if there's anything that little nerd that runs the company will remember, it's that. Now, that little nerd probably didn't celebrate 4th of July because more than likely he's a communist. But we're going to talk about 4th of July food. And Terry, I'm ready now.
Okay. So we are talking about top 10 4th of July foods today. I was giving you a little bit of a story that when I was doing some stuff on the 4th of July morning with the list, the poll is out at this point. I was making chili and I realized chili was not even on the options. It wasn't even on the emailed options for the first round because now our process involves some of us voting in the correct options. It wasn't on there.
And if you want to get on the list, reach out to Terry and we can
That's
get
right.
you on the big list. And then we do the
Absolutely.
narrower list.
That's
But
right.
Terry, real question. It was July the 4th. What in the fuck are you doing cooking chili in Huntsville, Alabama on July the 4th?
It just
chili
happened to be
is-
the day I was cooking it.
Chili is cold weather food, sir. Cold weather food.
Okay. Hey, I like chili, okay? But I didn't put chili powder in there. I got some taco seasoning, some Cholula taco seasoning that was garlic chili taco seasoning, and that's what I used. But anyway,
Okay.
Very nice.
more about that later. The other thing, and I realized this may be a Southern thing because Allison didn't even know what I was talking about. I did not have chicken stew on the list, and Allison said, "What is chicken stew?" So let me read these ingredients off for you, Allison.
Yes, I'm listening.
A basic chicken stew typically includes chicken, either thighs or breasts, vegetables like carrots, celery, and onions, and a flavorful broth. Other common ingredients include potatoes, garlic, herbs like thyme and parsley, and sometimes tomatoes, flour for thickening, and seasonings like salt, pepper, and bay leaves.
Making a roux, thickening it up. Okay.
Yeah, and I will say that chicken stews are sold a lot by volunteer fire departments down here in the South.
I had never
know.
heard of this.
I don't know.
Yeah. Every church and volunteer fire department has a chicken plate special, Allison.
They do,
Barbecue
yeah.
chicken, green beans, boiled potatoes, piece of bread, and a lemon cake to boot.
Okay.
okay.
Well,
So-
according to Miss Amy, birthday month queen, 4th of July is picnic food. Chili and stew do not qualify. So there you go.
Okay.
You're covered.
Well, then we did okay.
We did.
Let's talk
Is
about
it
what
him?
just missed the list.
Picnic food.
Okay.
Anyway, go on, Terry. What missed the list?
Ugh,
So
Terry,
we've
All the
got
salads.
potato salad,
no, gross.
pasta salad, some
Yes.
kebabs, and margaritas. Barely.
Terry, are
Missed it.
you a mustard potato salad guy?
I'm not a mustard anything, honestly.
My grandmother has the best recipe for potato salad.
I
If you
would
like potato salad, because clearly Allison is over there.
I
I'm
don't
more
like
of a mayonnaise base.
See, I don't like mayonnaise. Anything mayonnaise.
I like
based.
vinegary flavors, so
Mm.
throw that in there. I'm good too.
Yeah,
Same.
this had vinegar and it has mustard and it does have some mayonnaise, but not a lot.
Devin likes both.
Yeah.
He wants both the mustard.
So pasta
And there's
salad.
rumors about people putting raisins in there. I've
Oh,
never-
stop right now.
No, that's wrong. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wrong.
They talk
Kebabs
about
didn't
it on
make
the internet.
How did margaritas not make the list? How about Margs?
Because
were
we
my
had
favorite
beer,
drink
because we
back in the day.
we
They
had beer
almost
on
made the list. I put a lot of cocktails on there. I just put a list of them.
Margaritas,
Yes.
frozen or on the rocks?
Yes.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes.
All
Yes.
of the above.
Flavored original. Yes. The answer is always
Mine
yes.
was always on the rocks because I was going to make sure that I didn't lose any of the alcohol in
okay. Got it.
the frozen mix.
I may or may not have a margarita maker, like the frozen.
Bring it to Charlotte. No.
It'll
Yeah,
fit
I
in the
can
bag.
just see me getting on the plane with my giant, with my
Trust me.
big box margarita maker.
We're gonna be there 2 days or 2 overnight days, and she'll be checking a bag, so
That's
it'll be
hilarious.
I'm not checking a bag this time.
Oh, I am.
Miracle.
I always
With
do.
God.
fine. Oh,
All right, let's
And-
talk about the
and-
top 10.
Amy says why margaritas didn't make the list, but beer probably did because beer is easier to deal with on a boat.
Amy also says she's checking a bag. Color me fucking
Yes,
surprised.
I know.
You
You're
gotta
all
have extra
terrible.
space for all the goodies that you plan to get.
I'm bringing
That's right.
1 bag, and that is it.
I have to bring Andrew a pillow. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna bring that, but I'm gonna.
And
I
I'm
have to bring now. Listen, I have to bring stuff that I bought at the Bananas game for you guys.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta make
If
sure
we
I have
weren't
room
going
in
to
my
Charlotte, I don't know when you guys would get this because I ain't mailing it apparently.
No.
All right,
we didn't do
number 10, macaroni
Hell
and
yeah.
cheese.
As we've discussed, I love macaroni and cheese. I don't care about the cheese, like what flavor it is. Macaroni and cheese, that's my jam.
Well, let me tell
So-
you, and this is low income special here, but I prefer like the neon orange powdery cheese that you mix in. I want it to be as lowbrow as possible. That's the macaroni and cheese I want.
Okay, I have standards, and those are beneath them.
Well,
But-
hold on, because I didn't grow up. Remember, I didn't grow up in the South, so baked stuff like this, we didn't really have a lot of this. I had a lot of Greek food and stuff, but I didn't have fresh macaroni and cheese. So I'm kind of right with Terry.
I
You
got
give me
another
that
one for you.
powder,
Let me stick my fork in there, and I want to pick up half of it. It's all lumped together.
Baked macaroni and cheese or regular macaroni and cheese? I'm asking all the questions tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I got corrected at work one time when I said these same things. This snooty woman said, "You're talking about macaroni dinner," and I was like, "Okay." There's
hell is
macaroni in
talking
there,
about-
and there's cheese in
I'm
there.
talking about macaroni and cheese or baked macaroni and cheese, and in my world, there's a difference because the baked
Kraft
macaroni and cheese,
macaroni and cheese, yes,
the baked macaroni and cheese has either breadcrumbs and or Ritz crackers on it.
correct.
All right, that's number
And
10.
that's the one I'm making. Number
We
9.
could talk
Terry.
about this all night.
I know.
I like all of it, honestly, except for the really bland stuff you get at the buffet sometimes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Or
that's right.
Put
Yeah.
some flavor in there. Number 9, ribs.
Pork ribs, beef ribs.
baby back.
So you like pork. Okay.
Well, let me go ahead and throw this out there. How do y'all like the American flag background? For
Very
all the
nice.
foods? Is that
Very
not
nice.
great for the 4th of
It's
July?
very nice.
Very good
today.
job.
ChatGPT did a really good job with that.
Yes. Yeah. No,
I'm going
my
beef
dad
rib,
barbecues. Yeah.
extra saucy. Put the
You like
sauce on.
beef ribs, huh?
So
I like beef ribs extra saucy.
I
I'm
like
more
my
pork.
sauce caramelized. So I want you, after you put that sauce on, to keep them on the grill a little bit longer. That's my sweet spot for ribs.
Mine's the Kansas City where it's got the sweet and tangy,
Mm-hmm.
and you let that. I mean, you just smother it, and then you need a wet nap to finish wiping your hands off when you're done eating.
Yep.
My favorite place to get ribs in Huntsville was Gibson's Barbecue. And they had a kitchen fire about 3 years ago and it burned down.
Oh no.
And it's a real sadness because it was excellent. It's not Big Bob Gibson's. That's over in Decatur. That's the world famous one. This was like a cousin or a son or something. They've got several of these around, but that was my favorite place. And they're not there anymore.
That
unfortunately.
sucks.
So I really only ate my dad's barbecue for the longest time. I was never one who would go out and find a barbecue place. But here
Right.
in Connecticut, we've got a place called Bear's Barbecue where they're from the South and they came up here and they opened a couple of restaurants. Fantastic stuff.
We got pizza places like that down here. That's interesting.
I was left to my own devices the other night. Went to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue, and I had a
Oh.
barbecue sandwich, pulled pork, barbecue vinegar base, which is fine. Because here's
Mm.
the trick, ladies and gentlemen: the coleslaw that you put on the pork sandwich and eat with extra sauce, magnificent.
Speaking of barbecue and speaking of Charlotte, the last time I was in Charlotte, it was for a music festival.
Hmm.
And I went to this place, Sticky Fingers, on Sunday.
Yep.
and they had all you can eat buffet, and you got to take a plate with you.
Now, see,
Oh,
that's marketing at its best.
that
And
is.
I'm also familiar with Sticky Fingers, both the restaurant and in other ways. You'll get that in 10 minutes for some of you. But
All right,
Poor
timestamp 120.
Oh my goodness.
but Sticky Fingers is fantastic.
He is not for everyone.
I am not for everyone either. So anyway,
When I
But
lived
it
in
is. It's a
Florida,
really good place. I really enjoyed it.
yeah, when I was in Florida, God, I'm looking at the years, 27 years ago. When I lived in West Palm, we had a place in Jupiter that was called Park Avenue Ribs, and they had all you could eat, and it was like $20.
Mm.
And we would go like 10 of us from work, and they hated us because we would stay for hours, because they also served beer in pitchers, and like it was perfect. Good stuff. All right, what's number 8?
Number 8 is baked beans. Big on the list.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
I'll eat them, but I mean, they're just kind of there to me.
do you like barbecue baked beans or regular baked beans or Bush's baked beans, or does it
Yes.
matter?
Yeah.
I like a chunk of bacon floating in them somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good flavoring right there. Yeah.
I usually do the mustard and brown sugar gimmick.
Oh,
But I
that's
prefer the macaroni and cheese over the baked beans, though.
That is also a fact.
Oh, okay.
So those who voted down the mac and cheese, I don't agree with you.
What in the
Alright.
world?
I
So,
like this.
as you know, it's the baseball update just randomly before we get to number 7. Chicago is playing St. Louis. St. Louis is an okay baseball team. This is in Chicago. It is 11-0 in the top of the 6th.
Goodness.
Chicago is running away with this one, the Cubbies. But anyway, Terry, what is number 7 on the list?
Number 7 is watermelon, and I support
Yes.
this.
I really support this because this is the time of year you go to the roadside fruit stand and you spend $26 on a big ass watermelon, and it is fantastic. Like when it squirts you, behave yourself, Allison. When you cut it open,
Oh, good Lord.
when you cut it open and it shoots you in the face, behave yourself, Allison. You know it's a good watermelon. It is a fantastic watermelon. What in the world? Are you
Amy.
a communist too?
Amy doesn't like
Seriously.
watermelon.
Amy doesn't like
listen,
watermelon. She
I
is a
get
communist.
watermelon every time I step foot in the grocery store, and I'm bougie, so I get the already cut up pieces in the little
Oh,
plastic
Terry ain't
container.
working for it. That's what
No,
I'm
I
saying.
ain't, I ain't bringing out a knife. I'm eating it on the drive home. So
I love it.
I love
I
watermelon.
get that,
I don't
and
know
then on
what's wrong with
Saturday
Amy.
mornings when I'm at the grocery store, I get some shrimp. So I'm eating shrimp and watermelon. I know doesn't really go together, but I don't care. I like both of them on the way home.
Hey, look, if
That
you've never
works.
tried it, watermelon and feta salad. It sounds weird. It's freaking amazing.
Mm.
So,
This
big
is
fan of
probably
watermelon.
the top fruit, I would imagine.
Same.
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
not a huge fruit person, but I could every vacation I go on where there's a buffet and I find myself not eating a lot of fruit, this is my go-to. I'm like, ooh,
Cantaloupe.
Of course, I may be
Yeah,
wrong. 'Cause I
Slightly
think
better than
it
watermelon.
may not be the top fruit. But anyway,
oh,
number
oh,
6, brats and
Mm.
sausages.
mm. Yum. Yes. Mm. Big fan.
I'm a big fan of German food,
Yep.
but not really brats and sausages as much.
Well,
as
the good
schnitzel.
news is General George motherfucking Patton led the army to conquer the Germans back in the 1940s. But we don't have to have bratwurst. We're going to have red hot dogs in this house. But we're going
But
to
listen,
accept it.
where did some of those Germans end up? Right here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
true. Yeah,
So they changed our culture
that's
Yeah.
a
right.
great deal.
I mean, personally, I'm a big fan. Get one of those thin, long, round that's coiled up Italian sausages.
Mhm.
Throw that whole big thing on the grill. Throw some lemon and garlic on that. Yes, absolutely. Big fan.
All you need for these is just plain yellow mustard. That's it. Plain yellow mustard.
I'll stick with the schnitzel.
Mm.
Anyway,
Top
it's
five
got to now. I
answers.
prefer it to be veal, but
Ooh,
folks don't have veal a lot of times. They end
because you're
up
killing the
either
baby
giving
lamb.
you
Yeah, people have
pork
a lot of
or
issues with that.
chicken, and I'm like, I want the veal.
No,
But the
you
food
want the
truck
veal.
doesn't have the veal. Anyway,
We're bougie people, and we have money when it comes to food. What is number
That's right.
5?
number 5 is steak. Look at the
Steak is
marbleization in this cartoon steak.
Too much fat. Too much fat.
Steak is number 5.
It is.
First of all, hold on. Not only is steak number 5 shocking, but you just said too much fat.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
Now,
of fat. in my steak.
retract your statement.
Well, I will say the ring
Marbling
around-
is good. That's
Yeah.
a shit ton of fat for me.
on the edge. I'll agree
Yeah.
on the edge. Like if you get a New York strip and sometimes it has like that
Yeah.
giant bar of fat on the side,
I'm done. I can't eat
it's
it.
not great.
No.
That's why I like the ribeyes. But sometimes they have the big gob of fat in the middle.
Well, stop
That's a
talking
bit
about
much
the fat,
sometimes.
please.
If fat equals flavor.
Marbling of the
Yeah.
fat equals flavor,
Yeah.
not big ass hunks of fat on it.
I don't want it to be defragged. There's a nerd joke for you.
Oh god! I'm gonna say that the reason probably this isn't that high up on the list is because a lot of
Not
people.
really a 4th of July food.
That's what I was gonna say. It's great for a barbecue or a
Yeah.
dinner party. 4th of July, you usually got a lot of people you gotta feed. You ain't gonna feed them all steak.
Well, and Amy's point was beer is a little easier on the boat.
But yeah,
And you're moving, even if you're not on a boat, you're moving around doing stuff on the 4th of
Yeah.
July, doing fireworks, and you're not sitting there with a plate on your lap. Not that you got a cut. You've got a paper plate with something else on it that we probably
Got it.
mention a little bit higher up in the list. That's all I'll say. But
Yeah.
that's
absolutely agree.
Yeah, but when we dine together, steak is on the menu.
oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, we're using knives on a plate when we do that.
Yeah. And real plates and real napkins that they
That's
stick in the
right.
washing machine afterwards.
And we're wearing pants. Number 4,
Sometimes.
beer.
Beer.
Here it
I'm
is.
shocked this is this low.
This is beer brand beer. It comes in cans or bottles.
Homer's beer. It looks like Homer's beer.
But the bottom line is July the 4th in the South, that shit better be ice cold. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
difference between cold beer and ice cold beer. And this better be ice cold when it's 100 freaking degrees outside.
Gross.
Like when you drink it, it hurts. That's how cold it needs to be.
Yep, agree.
Beer headache.
Mhm.
Hurt the teeth, like the
Oh,
teeth
yeah.
sensitivity. Yeah,
yeah.
That's how cold it needs to be.
All right, what's our beer going with? What's number 3?
Number 3, grilled corn on the cob.
Really? Mm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I just wouldn't have expected it at number 3.
Man. Amazing. I love it.
It's so again, think of 4th of July. This is a great thing to prepare to just cook and then put on the side, and anybody can grab it and eat it. And you don't have to worry about the knife, the fork, just pick up your corn on the
And by
We
this time,
love,
the corn's really
corn,
good.
but apparently just not on pizza.
No. Nobody likes corn on pizza
Nobody
but Terry
likes corn.
Weaver.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not a real thing.
That's a Terry thing. But yeah.
It's a thing, I agree.
It is.
Amy agrees.
Nobody else
Sausage.
voted for it.
Onions and corn. My
Oh,
three favorite.
Stop it. Ugh.
You can revisit that if you go look for the top 10 pizza toppings
The
from.
worst part is,
last
Alex,
year.
he probably wants it on thick crust too. Like
Oh God.
not a thick hand toss crust, but like
No,
the
no,
thick
no.
Chicago style crust.
No, I don't want that.
Oh. Anyway, corn is awesome. Yay, corn.
All
Grilled
right.
corn is fantastic.
We should already know the top 2, but what order are they in?
Yes. It's gonna
Number
go hamburgers.
2,
Hot dogs are 1, hamburgers are 2. I knew it.
hamburgers are number 2.
Yes.
But that's got cheese on it.
Right.
Okay,
it's a
on.
topping for a hamburger. It's a
I guess I
topping
should
for
have
a
just put
hamburger.
burgers, huh?
Yeah, well, that's a cheeseburger. Once you put cheese on it, you have changed it to a cheeseburger. Nobody says it's a hamburger with cheese. They call it a cheeseburger.
I beg to differ, but that is exactly what they call it in some restaurants.
So
It wa-
I saw a video the
hell
other day
you
where somebody was
say?
posing the question: if you take a bunch of ham and you grind it up into a patty and you
That's a
grill it
hamburger.
and you put it on a bun, what do you call that?
A ham hamburger. Disgusting. Gross. Something I would
agree
never
with that,
eat.
yeah. Sounds
Just-
horrible. I'm not a big ham fan. I'll just tell
No,
you.
what's on your hamburger?
I'm normally getting bacon, onions, not tomatoes. Lettuce is a waste of time. And I probably go with, I prefer mayonnaise over ketchup and mustard.
Allison will tell you lettuce is a filler, so I bet it's
Correct.
not on her hamburger either.
That is correct. Lettuce, tomato, absolutely a filler. So I usually stay away from the tomatoes because some tomatoes give me hives. I don't know, so I usually stay away. But then I'll add the ketchup. So ask me like I'm an idiot. But ketchup, mustard, cheese, and I like a little bit of raw onion and pickles for sure.
Mine is typically light mustard, light ketchup. With the hamburger, I like Terry's idea with bacon, pickle and onion guy, and a tomato. But the tomato needs to be a fresh tomato, not that bullshit you get at the store.
I really
means you
enjoy
only-
some pickles, but I've never been
Oh.
big on pickles because they're inconsistent. You
That's
have
a
one
very
bite with a
good point.
pickle, and then you got another bite without a pickle, and that's really
Do
why I
you
don't-
have a bun preference, either of you, for these hamburgers?
Potato bun.
Okay.
Sorry, I said that really fast.
It's
but
one of those that it's almost like I'll know it when I take a bite. You know, I don't know that I know ahead of time, but potato bun is huge.
I do like the sesame seed. I'll be honest. I do.
Yeah.
I do like. Yeah, I know this has sesame seeds in the chat.
Sure,
GPT
yeah.
page. But the I think they're the ballpark is really what they are, and they're almost like a yellow bun, like they're a yellow bread.
That's
Oh,
a potato
yeah.
bun.
I like that one.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, those are really
Yeah.
good. Yep.
Normally, my favorite bread is sourdough across the board.
Same.
So if you got a sourdough bun, that's probably pretty good too.
hmm
Yeah.
But
All
number
right.
one should be
Number one
I
should
mean-
With the
be
bullet.
and is hot dogs.
yeah. Now,
Okay. Most important question: sauerkraut or no sauerkraut?
no sauerkraut. God,
Sauerkraut. Yeah.
Communist.
Stay away from
Andrew's
me with
a
that
communist.
sauerkraut
That's it.
bullshit.
I don't do
Reuben.
mustard. I
Nope.
do sauerkraut.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Pretty much just sauerkraut. Or I might do a
Onion
chili
pickles
dog.
fine. Onion pickles fine, but the way that you cook a proper North Carolina hot dog, it's called North Carolina Red Hots. You put that bitch on the grill to about the point where it's going to explode, and it's going to
Yep.
have char lines on it, nice and black. You put it in said ballpark yellow hot dog bun, and you put yellow mustard over the top of it, and you eat it. This is me being what's his face from the Sandlot teaching Smalls how to eat a fucking s'more at this point. That's how you eat a hot dog properly.
I've never had one of those.
A Carolina Red Hot, we can fix that. You're going to be in Charlotte. I
Well,
promise you we'll have them there.
Okay.
But I don't need chili. I don't need onions. I don't need pickle. I'll eat them that way. But stay the hell away from me with sauerkraut on a hot dog. What is
Now,
wrong with you?
Look, I'm gonna qualify this. I grew up on Long Island. I had an original Nathan's restaurant around the corner from me, so we would frequently go get a fresh grilled hot dog with the snap of that case, and then you threw some fresh hot sauerkraut on top of that. There was nothing better in the world.
See, I'll get it fresh. I will fuck with the Nathan's hot dog, but you ain't getting sauerkraut near it.
Big mistake.
Not getting it near my wiener.
Something about the crunch of the hot dog when you bite through the crisp skin, and then the addition of that crunchy sauerkraut as well. Just phenomenal.
You're
I'm
a
hungry, and I wanna
disgusting
go get-
individual. How are you my best friend? I don't
So
know.
there is another food truck story in Huntsville.
Oh.
There's a food truck called New South Hot Dogs and Sushi, and they combine the two, and you get sushi toppings on a hot dog, and they call it the crunchy dog, and it is fabulous.
Really?
Yes.
I would fuck with that too, just to be
yeah,
honest about
it's
it.
good.
Wow. All right. Yeah,
Shout out
I
to
mean,
them. I have not had that in a long time. I would love
yeah.
to have that.
I know. I've been promising Lex a trip to Coney Island, and Nathan's is on our list.
Nathan's on the
Shout
most
out to Joey.
magical place on earth.
So shout out, I believe Joey Chestnut won again this
He
year.
did.
He re-entered the race for how many hot dogs and most hot dogs eaten, and he won again.
He got disqualified for eating turkey hot dogs last year, as he should have been, or the impossible sausages or whatever he was representing.
goodness. So Devin had 7 hot dogs this weekend.
Brazen.
Impressive.
Congratulations. Hot dog eating is fucking disgusting. And I mean,
Because of the way they do it. I saw a video where they were acting out the people that came up with, like the Nathan people coming up with the competition. And one of them was like, we got to make them eat it like a hot dog. And they're like, no, don't worry about that. It's crazy what they dip the whole bread in water and eat it.
It's not happening. As much as Bober says Andrew versus Chestnut next 4th of July, I'm good for 2 hot dogs, homie. I'm not going to inhale them like it's my fucking job or like I'm on a Tinder date. You can think about that for a minute. But here's the thing.
E is not for everyone.
E is not for everyone. But I am not impressed with food eating competitions. That it is absolutely disgusting. As somebody who enjoys food, I like to savor it and I like to enjoy it and smell it and taste it. You couldn't get me near a fucking hot dog eating contest. Not happening.
So
Not even on
they
the-
have this annual, one of the places I used to work has this annual organization day thing. And it's like,
Correct.
It's like, they have a bunch of contests and stuff. Well, they had a moon pie eating contest.
Oh,
at one of
Lord.
these, and they're telling about it. And a couple of my coworkers and I said, let's go watch the moon pie eating contest. And we think that these guys are going to be shoving them in their mouth like crazy. We go over there, and I swear they're like unwrapping them, taking a bite, really enjoying it, like my dad would, And it's like, my God, the winner's going to eat 3. And I don't know. It was a horrible
That's not,
situation.
Yeah. I'm just not a food eating contest person. Like hot wing eating contests or hot dog eating no, not me. Now that moon pie contest, if I liked moon pies, I could have got down with, but I don't even like moon pies that much. So anyway, Terry, run it down. Top 10.
Running it down. Number 10, mac and cheese. Number 9, ribs. Number 8, baked beans. Number 7, watermelon. Number 6, brats and sausages. Number 5, steak. Number 4, beer. I live in that 4 or 5 category there. Number 3, grilled corn on the cob. Number 2, hamburgers. And number 1, hot dogs. Because this is America.
Correct. Proof that we still get it right.
I like this list. We're always more agreeable when it's a food list.
Well, there's a lot more conversation because we're interested in it.
Right.
Terry will never forgive us for bad mouthing corn on pizza. He'll never,
because it's not a thing.
And bottle caps. And
and you guys call me old. You call me old.
I might have said something off color about bottle caps one time. Maybe.
One time?
One time. Possibly.
I can't wait to find out if there's any bottle caps in the airport so I can pick some up for Terry.
That's the last place I did find bottle caps.
I know. It's the only place I ever find it.
It might have been Vegas for all I know. I can't remember.
Could have been.
All right, let's talk about our friends.
Sure.
We got mark out moments in the chat here. That's Dave. He said his hot dogs was his number 1.
Hot dogs was my number 1.
Same.
Along with Terry Von Erich.
This week on Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy, they are welcoming Suge White. And
not to be confused with Suge Knight.
That's right.
Death Row Records.
That's right.
That was a
Dave
says for those of you who know him. Damn,
I'd already thought about that for the last 4 hours after I found out who it was, so it didn't hit me. as much as it should have hit everybody else.
Damn, Terry. Anyway.
And then also, as we've said before, Thursday night this week. Thank you, Amy. That's a good point. Thursday night this week. And on July 19th, from West Monroe, Louisiana, Bayou Independent Wrestling is going to put on Caught in the Crossfire. And Dave, as well as the other members of Markout Moments, are going to live stream this on their channel. So I think we've said a lot about that. Blame Amy. Okay. Oh, for Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
They moved
that's
because of
it.
Amy.
Well, and otherwise, it's just Dave talking to the clouds. I mean, genuinely.
Well, he's done it a time or two before.
Yeah.
He's at that age, right?
He yells at the
Talking
geese,
to the clouds. This Caught in the Crossfire has nothing to do with what I'm about to say other than the date. Will be my 14th anniversary in the car business.
Excellent.
Woo!
July 19th.
Very nice.
Coming up on us rapidly. But anyway, I expect that the live color commentary and the stream will be a good time. So if you have not yet, subscribe to Markout Moments and go over and watch what they have to offer.
Absolutely. And we're very thankful for them for mentioning what we do here. So we try to mention what they do over there also. And they are obviously great friends of ours. So thanks for supporting us. And we are going to support you. And this will be a very interesting situation with this live stream.
Yep.
Very much.
And that's about all we got this week, guys.
Woohoo!
And man, we did it in 2 hours.
What we have not said is what we're going to rank next week. I thought, since we will be recording on the birthday of Miss Allison Faye, she needs to tell us what she wants to rank next week.
So I think since it's Evolution, we should do something with women wrestlers.
Okay.
What do we have left? Did we do?
Well,
top
we
10?
did. We did top 10 women wrestlers last year.
All right.
All right. We may have to come up with it, but Allison's going to be the approval authority this week.
Woohoo! I like
For
that.
her birthday. It's a cheap birthday present. We're going to let her decide.
Works. Yay! All right.
Excellent. And that's about it. Anything else we hadn't talked about, guys? Get well, George.
Yes,
he
seriously.
logged off, but thank you.
George needs to get well so I can shit on the Mets. The Yankees need to get better so I don't have to shit on them. And I am probably pro-fire Aaron Boone. And for the love of God, just hire Derek Jeter already so all of the websites can be correct that he's the next manager of the New York Yankees. Although I don't know that he would be a good manager. I don't know that he's got it.
You just shut your mouth.
No, the thing about being a player is you're not always a good manager. Sorry, it's a fact. Not everybody can do it. Not everyone's Pete Rose.
Braves fans are wanting Chipper Jones to be the manager. But, yeah.
Oh, he's unhinged. Come on.
But see, Chipper, I would pick Maddox over Chipper if we're going old school Braves. Because Maddox was like, he was the mad dog. The dude was crazy. And he was smarter than everybody else on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let Chipper be the hitting coach and let Maddox be the manager.
Yeah, and not everybody can be Joe Torre either, Allison. So there's that.
I am aware. And Maddox looks more like a dad, so that totally works for me.
Yeah.
Well, you mean New York Yankees Joe Torre, not Atlanta Braves Joe Torre.
Oh, correct. Yeah, no.
No, and Dodgers Joe Torre as well. He won a couple of World Series.
Yeah.
Dodgers Joe Torre was unhinged. You talk about unhinged. Like when he got to New York, he was all calm and docile. But if you watch the old videos of Torre when he played or coached and managed for the Dodgers, he was like, oh, he's going to be at the All-Star game, Devin. I don't know if you're aware of this. Joe Torre is the honorary manager for the American League and will be with Aaron Boone. Hopefully for Boone's last outing as the
American League
All-Star
manager.
game manager. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
got some good
as
story at spring
as
training.
Freed goes to Atlanta and starts the All-Star game.
Yeah, it's gonna be Scooble. It's not gonna be Freed, but they're pretty close. But it's gonna be Scooble. He's got more flash, more pizzazz. Threw a complete game, has 103 miles in him after 100 pitches. It's insanity.
I mean, it's great.
But he don't have the 12-6 curveball that Max Fried does, so there's that. Mets Joe Torre. No.
And Bober's off the rails again.
No, we're not doing that. None of us support anything that the stupid Mets do. We disagree about a lot of stuff. We do not disagree that they are the stupid Mets.
So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably regret it at some point, but I am going to take Andrew to Citi Field at some point for one reason and one reason only, and
It's
that's
shitty
the food.
field, but go ahead. And
It's
what's
for the
reason?
food. It's for the food. The
Oh,
food
wow.
there is tremendous. So it's going to be a lot easier to get you there than it is to get you to Seattle because theirs is kind of the same way. They're designed, I think, alike. But I'm going to get you to Citi Field, and we're going to go eat our way through the outfield.
As long as we're Yankees fans, it's shitty field, and we need to do a Subway series. Don't take me to some bullshit Mets Atlanta game.
We could do that. I did that a couple of years ago. We did actually, instead of doing when they play each other, we could do a morning game or afternoon game and a night game. It's quite possible.
Yeah, shitty field because it ain't Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And it's one of those stupid fields that's got a sponsor. We talked about that last week.
We did.
What, like 99% of them?
Like Truist Park. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. True.
Can't be Brave Stadium anymore.
It's sad when I'm like, no, it's SunTrust, damn it. It's like, well, that's just as bad.
That's like when the ballpark at Arlington,
Yeah.
like that used to drive me nuts. Every year it had a different name. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what is the name? I don't know what the name is.
Are we
here.
playing baseball or are we racing cars? That's what I want to know.
Like Minute Maid
Everyone
Park
wants
in Houston, the juice
Yeah.
box.
But what we did learn today, Terry, is we're going to take Lou Brown's advice and go find the guy bagging groceries at the local
That's right.
grocery store because the Yankees are in need of a pitcher because Yarborough's got an oblique strain. Schmidt needs Tommy John surgery. Hill's not ready yet. And Max Fried needs help. And Carlos Rodon apparently ain't reliable. So
So to wrap it up, to summarize, next week is Allison's birthday, and we will be recording on her birthday unless she decides we're not. And she will be deciding what the top 10 list is, and it sounds like it's going to have something to do with wrestling women. And what else was on my mind when I said to wrap it up? I don't know. There were some
that is
other
Allison's
things.
49th birthday, the one right before 5.
Oh, I know what it is. We will talk about all the injuries that occur to pitchers in Major League Baseball between now and then.
Correct.
Yes.
And we'll talk about a lot of the wrestling, and it might be a 3-hour show.
That's correct.
Allison has Lex next week. I promise it will not be a 3-hour show.
So tune in, and we'll bring it to you. But until then, let me flip the page. As always, love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, everybody.